15 things every man over 60 will remember. Do you remember a time when one telephone served the entire house, television ended for the night, and children disappeared outdoors until the streetlights came on? Life was not always easier back then, but it was slower, simpler, and filled with everyday moments that stayed with us for a lifetime. Many objects that once seemed completely ordinary have now disappeared. Others still exist, but they no longer feel the same. Today, we are looking back at 15 things almost every man over 60 will remember. Count how many bring back a memory for you. Number 15, the family telephone. Most homes had only one telephone. It might have been placed in the hallway, kitchen, or living room, where everyone could hear the conversation. There were no private messages and no personal phones. When the telephone rang, anyone in the family might answer it. Calling a friend also required good manners. You first had to speak to their mother, father, or another family member before asking to talk to them. And if someone stayed on the phone too long, it was only a matter of time before another person said, "I need to use the phone." The telephone belonged to the entire household. That made private conversations difficult, but it also meant people did not spend every quiet moment staring at a screen. Number 14, rotary dials. Making a telephone call required patience. You placed your finger into one of the numbered holes, turned the dial all the way around, and waited for it to return. Then you repeated the process for every number. If you made a mistake near the end, there was no delete button. You simply hung up and started again. Because calling took more effort, people often memorized important telephone numbers. You probably knew the numbers of your closest friends, relatives, local shops, and emergency services without checking the list. Today, many of us can barely remember our own family members' numbers. Number 13, one television for the whole family. Many households had one television, and everyone watched it together. There was no separate screen in every room. The family had to agree on what to watch, or at least accept the choice made by whoever controlled the television. Programs started at a specific time. If you missed one, you could not simply watch it later. Families checked the television listings in the newspaper and planned their evening around a favorite show. Someone also had to stand up to change the channel or adjust the volume. In many homes, the youngest child became the unofficial remote control. Television offered fewer choices, but watching it often felt like a shared event. Number 12, adjusting the antenna. Getting a clear picture could become a family project. Someone stood beside the television, slowly turning the antenna while another person watched the screen. Keep going. Go back a little. Stop. Right there. Sometimes the picture looked perfect until the person let go of the antenna. Bad weather could fill the screen with lines, static, or strange shadows. People tried moving the antenna, tapping the television, or placing a small piece of foil in exactly the right position. Number 11, Saturday morning cartoons. Saturday morning felt different from every other day. Children woke up early, poured a bowl of cereal, and sat in front of the television, waiting for cartoons. There was no way to pause the program. If you went to the kitchen or bathroom at the wrong moment, you missed part of the story. And when the morning schedule ended, it was over. That limited time made Saturday morning feel special. Children talked about the programs at school, copied their favorite scenes while playing outside, and waited an entire week for another episode. Number 10, listening to the radio. Before endless playlists and streaming services, the radio helped shape everyday life. People listened to music, news, weather reports, sports, and local announcements while driving, working, or relaxing at home. You could not immediately choose any song you wanted. Instead, you waited. When your favorite song finally came on, you turned up the volume and listened carefully. Later, many people placed a cassette recorder beside the radio, hoping to record a song. The real challenge was pressing the stop button before the announcer began talking. Number 9, vinyl records. Listening to an album was a complete experience. You removed the record carefully from its sleeve, wiped away the dust, placed it on the turntable, and gently lowered the needle. Then came the soft crackle before the music began. People often listened to an entire album from beginning to end. The artwork, photographs, printed lyrics, and liner notes were part of the experience. A favorite record could become scratched, faded, and worn from years of use, but people kept it because it carried memories. A particular song might remind you of your first car, a school dance, someone you loved, or a summer you never forgot. Number 8. Paper maps. Before navigation apps, drivers relied on paper maps. Planning a journey often meant spreading a large map across a table and tracing the route with a finger. During the trip, the passenger usually became the navigator. Maps were unfolded inside moving cars, turned upside down, and studied at traffic lights. Missing a turn could add miles to the journey. There was no voice telling you to make a U-turn. You found a safe place to stop. Number 7. Manual car windows. Cars had fewer conveniences. To open a window, you turned a handle by hand. During hot weather, everyone rolled the windows down and hoped the moving air would cool the inside of the car. Number 6. Family road trips. Car travel was very different. Children often sat across large bench seats, squeezed beside brothers and sisters, or stretched out in the back during a long journey. Modern safety standards have changed greatly, and for good reason. But older generations still remember those family road trips. There were no screens to keep everyone occupied. Children looked out the window, counted passing cars, watched the landscape change, argued with siblings, and repeatedly asked how much longer the journey would take. Stopping at a roadside restaurant or small service station felt like part of the adventure. Number 5. Fixing things instead of replacing them. When something broke, people usually tried to repair it. A radio, bicycle, chair, toaster. Many fathers and grandfathers kept jars filled with screws, washers, nails, bolts, as small pieces that might become useful one day. Garages and sheds were full of spare wood, old cables, metal parts, paint cans, and tools collected over many years. People took objects apart to understand how they worked. Number 4. Local hardware stores. The local hardware store was more than a place to buy tools. The person behind the counter often knew exactly what you needed. You could walk in holding a broken part and say, "I need another one of these." They would study it for a moment, disappear behind a shelf, and return with the correct replacement. Number 3. Playing outside until dark. Children once spent most of their free time outside. They rode bicycles, played ball, climbed trees, built forts, explored fields, and invented games using whatever they could find. Number 2. Handwritten letters before instant messages. People wrote letters. You chose the paper, found an envelope, wrote the address carefully, attached a stamp, and placed the letter in the mailbox. A reply might take days or weeks. That waiting made receiving a letter feel important. You recognized the person's handwriting before opening the envelope. Some letters contained family news. Others carried congratulations, apologies, invitations, or words people found difficult to say face to face. Number 1. Life before everyone was reachable. Perhaps the greatest difference was that people were not available every minute of the day. When someone left home, you could not immediately call, message, or track them. People made plans in advance and trusted one another to arrive. If a friend said they would meet you at a certain time, you simply waited. There were no constant notifications during dinner. No emails arrived in the middle of the night. Silence was normal. Waiting was normal. Being alone with your thoughts was normal. Life was not perfect, and many things have improved, but people often had more distance from the noise of the world. That slower rhythm is one of the things many people miss most. How many of these things do you remember? Was it the rotary telephone, the paper map, the family television, or playing outside until the streetlights came on? Perhaps one of these memories reminded you of a person, a home, or a moment you had not thought about in years. Share the thing you remember most in the comments. Your story may bring back a memory for someone else. And subscribe to the Memory Lantern for more forgotten memories, classic stories, and moments from a world that has almost disappeared.